I do think that, look, we would be amiss not to talk about, obviously, what's been going on. Friends of the show, Sam Cedar and Ryan Grimm, obviously are friends with the squad. They have direct lines to pretty much all of them, especially AOC. And they obviously have run cover for them regarding what has happened with Force the Vote, which led to Kevin McCarthy becoming the speaker, but with considerable concessions coming for the GOP. Now, I actually wrote down specifically what those concessions are.
It's pathetic that this is how we're getting things, is from the Matt Gaetz. So we're getting anything done because of Matt Gaetz and his contingency. That's not promising to me. Like, that's pathetic. And I'm supposed to, it's like, I can't hate on that. And who were the Democrats voting for? Hakeem Jeffries? That's not a solution to anything. How does that help anything?
According to Zero Hedge, the conditions that were made, as has been reported, it is a Jeffersonian motion. How about that? Remember, Thomas, if you guys want to know the history of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, it stems from two of our founding fathers. The Democratic Party was basically founded by Alexander Hamilton, who believed in a strong central government, and the Republican Party was founded by Thomas Jefferson, who believed in a decentralized form of governance. And so, according to the Jeffersonian motion, as is reported by Zero Hedge, it will only take a single congressperson acting in what is known as a Jeffersonian motion to move to remove the speaker if he or she goes back on their word or policy agenda. How about that? You actually have to do the will of the people. Nah, that's a foreign concept on the Democratic side.
We're not going to have that.
Number two, a church-style committee will be convened to look into the weaponization of the Federal Bureau of Investigation and other government organizations. I agree with that.
Also not a bad plan.
Presumably the CIA, the subject of the original church committee, against the American people. Number three, term limits.
Oh, how Democrats would never put something like that in. You know what? It's like, it's getting harder and harder to be against those people on that side. Like, how are you doing that?
Will be put up for a vote. I look forward to that vote.
Oh, it won't pass, mind you, but we'll get to really see who's who.
Bill number 4, bills presented to Congress will be single subject. You know who let me finish. Bills presented to Congress will be single subject, not omnibus, with all the attendant earmarks. And there will be a 72-hour minimum period to read them. You know who this sounds like? On the GOP side, it sounds like Thomas Massie. And on the Democratic side, this sounds like how Alan Grayson used to do business. Alan Grayson would write a bill that was no longer than 3 or 4 pages that everyone could understand, and you would have to understand the bill before it gets to the committee floor and ultimately put up for a vote. That is a great idea.
Well, they generally don't read their stuff at all. Like, I remember when the Patriot Act passed, none of them read it. None of them read it. They don't read.
The omnibus bill was 4,200 pages long. And I guarantee you, not one person, not one, read the whole thing.
I won't even read that.
Number 5, the Texas border plan will be put before Congress. From the Hill, the 4-pronged plan aims to complete physical border infrastructure. My big, beautiful wall will finally
let them vote on it. Whatever. This is just to bring things for a vote.
Fix border enforcement policies. We all know what that means. You want to look for a bad caveat? That means more ICE. That's what it means.
Well, again, it's just bringing it for a vote.
Correct. Enforce our laws in the interior. Again, that's, jargon. And target cartels and criminal organizations. Legalize all drugs. And
wait. Is that in their thing?
No, but when you say target cartels and criminal organizations.
I got so excited. I was about to say, that's it. I have to be with
just legalize all drugs.
Well, and you decriminalize it.
Or decriminalize all drugs.
What you're talking about.
And you know who would agree with that? Thomas Massie and Rand Paul. Maybe you should move to Kentucky.
No. No.
You have a comment you wanted to make?
Well, it's just really frustrating to me that that we don't see Democrats doing that. This is exactly what the whole big force the vote was. Now, they were obviously specifically wanting it for single payer healthcare, Medicare for all. But I think the bigger issue is that the Democrats don't seem to do it for anything. Like, it isn't that they didn't do it for that. It's do they even get concessions? What is the point of a progressive caucus? What is the point of a squad? What is the point of a group or a contingency if you're not going to do anything? If you're not going to hold votes together? The whole point of being a contingency is to hold strong together and not give your votes. That's the whole point. So yeah, I did support the idea of force the vote. I always support the idea of force the vote because every single vote should have to be earned and every single person should be fighting for everything they can get. So yeah.
And if you were on Capitol Hill right now, you would stand by yourself if you needed to.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't have voted for Hakeem Jeffries.
6, COVID mandates will be ended, as will all funding for them, including so-called emergency funding. I am against mandates. I think people, if they want to get the vaccine, should be able to get it. Although right now, if you want the vaccine, you got to pay for it. So there's that.
But again, you're simply talking about things that they're saying have to be brought up for voting.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm in favor for all sorts of things being brought up for voting. Like, I have no aversion to things being brought up for a vote.
And then, of course, you've got what Steve Grumbine would call the poison pill of this, which is, of course, number 7, which is budget bills would stop the endless increases in the debt ceiling. Again, learn MMT. There is a difference between state and local versus federal.
Yeah.
There's macro and there's micro. Know the difference, even though there are our libertarian friends who do not want to learn that difference, but learn it because it's actual fact.
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
The sad truth is that
those all sounded pretty decent to me for the most part. But again, I'm in favor of anything being, we should just always have a vote. I think the whole point of withholding your vote for speaker is that your contingency should demand whatever it is you want to be brought to the floor. And it shouldn't even really require that, actually, because Congress is supposed to work that people build little groups and factions and bring issues to the floor and vote on legislation, because that's sort of the point of what they're doing. So the fact that it turns into this, we're going to keep you from bringing things up, that shouldn't be anyway, but it is. So I'm in favor of any and all contingencies of people using their vote to get things brought to the floor for a vote. Like that's complete. That is the whole point of any of that. Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.